Brandon here. Thanks for checking out another new episode of Tinfoil Tales. This is another little episode that is from a snippet from my other podcast, Dark Side of the Scene. I've been working on getting things lined up for new episodes here at Tinfoil Tales, but we kind of talked about a little bit of stuff on the other podcast I have that I thought was relevant to this podcast, so I'm joined by my co-host, Ed Corella, along with the guest, Bram Epstein. And we kind of talked a little bit about conspiracies and AI and some other things that I thought were a little bit interesting, and thought maybe throw this on here to give just a little bit of something, keep the episodes flowing so there's not so big of a gap in between. But with all that being said, now we will go ahead and dive on into that. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a little bit of the discussion.
It's literally...
Speaking of post-apocalyptic,
Sure.
Do you gentlemen, I know Brandon is into conspiracy theories, Ed, I don't know if you are, but
Sure.
do you believe we are entering the end times with all of these weather,
Craziness.
tornado, the air is made out of pure butter, and
The fact that I can't look outside without looking like someone's house is burning.
yeah.
It hasn't
No,
turned orange yet. I'm waiting for it to turn orange.
Yeah, there's just been green liquid going through the streets.
Ed said something yesterday about what kind of trees smell like burnt plastic. I was like, fake ones.
Fake trees. So Canada is not real, and the border is just made out of like fake trees, so you don't try to climb through.
Canada doesn't exist, and neither does Australia. That's my tinfoil cap
so
for the day.
that's what I'm saying. Like Canada's lined with fake trees, so you can't like jump the border.
You've got billionaires committing suicide, or no, I won't say the full word.
Right.
Swee.
Yeah.
You've got the great winds coming through. Dude, I can't believe a tornado hit the same exact spot twice in like 2 months. It's so wild.
Down in Greenwood area.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my coworkers was on his golf cart, like filming it while it happened.
When did this happen?
This was on Sunday.
Oh, like the big storms that we had that.
Dude, there
Yeah.
was a legit tornado that ripped through Greenwood. It ripped roofs off and destroyed some houses.
No shit. We kind of got like, we didn't get much. Funny enough, like when it started raining and they said tornado warning and like hard rains, I literally went outside because again, I have like kind of PTSD from a tree falling out on our house from like this
Right.
crazy storm that uprooted trees, and they said it wasn't a tornado, but I'm like, bullshit. So I wanted to face this fucker. I'm like, if it's coming, and I don't know, like if you listen, I gotta ask you both your opinions. So like, I'm sure some of you have watched storms come and stuff, and they're very rumbly and whatnot, and you can hear them. But I almost feel like it almost sounds like a train is coming. But there's like
Is
that
at least
normal?
Well, yeah, and I totally forgot that you guys aren't in Indianapolis, so of course you didn't know about it. Yeah, dude, in South Indianapolis, like a massive tornado ripped through. I mean, it went for probably a minute or two, but whatever hit it, it ripped it all out of the fucking ground. And then north of me, about 20 miles north, there was a hailstorm. One of my buddies was coming back from Chicago, and he got his car totaled because there was hail the size of softballs.
Yeah, somebody posted
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Somewhere
so-
up around Plymouth, they said it was like softball size hail, and Plymouth's only like 40 minutes north of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Sunday I watched it. I even have the video still on my phone. My girlfriend and I went outside and we saw little funnels starting to, like they were starting to make funnels, but then they would just kind of dissipate. But yeah, that was like the super gnarly storm. I mean, we live in the country, so we can see for miles. That was like part of that crazy hailstorm. We just watched it, from, west to east, north of us, probably about, 10, 15 miles. So it never hit our property or anything, but we
Did
just
you get
watched it
rain
go by.
though? Did you get rain? Hard rain?
We got at my house, it was sunny the whole time, but like there was tornadoes happening on the south side, and then there was the hailstorm north of us. So yeah, we didn't get hit with anything at all. Knock on wood.
No, we got heavy rain, and then the wind started picking up, and I swear, like I could hear like this kind of like,
Yeah, that's a tornado coming.
like a weird fucking like, I call it a spaceship noise, and it's not. We live somewhat by train tracks, but the train is not that loud, so it just sounds like almost mechanical.
A rumble. Yeah.
It's not even a rumble. It just sounds like a big machine like flying over us. And I always wondered Storms always sound like that because, or I'm just not paranoid because of
High
that.
windstorms do. I mean, hurricanes sound like that too. I grew up in Florida, so I've been through a few of them, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's just all that wind hitting everything that it's hitting. It's like, echoing as it comes through.
I don't know if it's an echo. I just can't describe the sound. It just sounds like a big piece of machinery up in the sky.
From what I looked up, it
Yeah.
was, yeah, like those high wind tornadoes or hurricanes. It always sounds like a train's coming.
Well, yeah, I heard kind of like, yeah, I've heard that before, but nothing came to us other than heavy winds. And then it just kind of rained hard and then blew over us. And then the sun came out. And then I'm like, haha. So I went inside and just kind of laughed. And I'm like, haha, faced my fear today. And then all was good. And then the other morning I wake up and I smell that burnt plastic smell. And there's like kind of hazy. And I'm like, my contacts dirty? Like, no. Is that fog? No, it's not fog. What the fuck's going on? So
It's
yeah, I don't.
ash, just floating ash.
And I'm like, I don't see it on my car. And I'm like, is this fucking what? I don't know. See, you're right. Maybe it is the end times, all this shit. Like all these celebrities are randomly dying. We were not talking to Brandon about it. I'm like, this person had cancer. And like, they didn't say nothing. Like, okay, they're dead now. Okay. Like most people, like, usually want like some sympathy. Like, hey, I haven't been around, been fighting this for a while. But no, some people are just like,
I feel like celebrities, though, it's just they're probably so over everyone being up their ass about things, they might
yeah.
just
And then
drop off.
yeah.
I think and living out here has really helped me change my perspective on what's important to me. Like I've also very much, not saying that I'm famous, but like just I've been around a lot of people and done a lot of things, like gone out and done stuff, but now like really don't care much to go out and about too much, like go out and party, or I can't even really drink that much anymore. I kind of just get tired. Maybe I'm just boring, but
Are you growing up? Is that what you're saying?
brother, I knew it was coming. Yeah, no, I think I've just my life's been simplified, but also I think the world's been seemed a little crazy. Either we're hearing about it a lot more than we were before, or the world actually is a bit crazier than I think. COVID really, oh sorry, the beast really messed things up.
You've said it like twice before. That's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we're far enough removed from it now that it probably
Sure.
doesn't even matter.
Sure. No, I mean that's
Sorry, Brandon.
I'm surprised they're not making us wear masks. I mean, if the air quality is that shitty, it's like
No, they did suggest it. They
Right.
there was like I was looking at the air quality index
Mm.
on my phone, and yeah, it was saying it's quite shite.
It's definitely weird. That's all I can say. And like I don't know, like I feel like it just came over. Like I remember when they first said, the stuff was burning and I smelled it. And then now it's like again, we got a big old storm and all of a sudden it just shows up one morning in the morning. Like, what the fuck? I'm going to work and I don't know. It's definitely weird. Like I said in like his other podcast, I think the weather machine's all screwed up.
Yeah,
As
dude,
far as
it's never right. It's like 100% chance of rain, and it's just entirely no cloud in the sky.
No, kind of like basically when our tree got uprooted, it's supposed to be heavy rains, and then suddenly like 80, 90 per hour mile winds. We got the text after the tree hit our house, that warning text, and then the power went out. So it was like it was a rough time, I tell you. And that last June was. So it's weird that a year has passed, and it's like I'm not understanding it still. Like there's something wrong with this weather, in my opinion. I mean, we had a long winter, but this is Indiana. But it did fucking hold off longer than normal, in my opinion. And because I've lived in Indiana all my life, and it usually stops by March. But
Yeah.
I think it kept going on. I'm like, till April, I think. I don't know. So Brandon's quiet. He doesn't know.
No, I'm here. I'm just letting you talk. I've got my own theories, but I saved that for my other one.
I was
Sure.
gonna ask you how is Tinfoil Tales?
I just released something a couple of weeks ago. I haven't really recorded anyone else. I kind of been too busy with this thing. But
Yeah.
after these next 4 or 5 interviews, I'm going to take a few weeks and work on getting some stuff recorded for that. For some reason, it is a big hit now. Like I get a lot more daily downloads and stuff like that from that one. I haven't even been doing anything with it.
Yeah, maybe people are just kind of finding it by suggestions. I've been listening to some podcasts, like storytelling podcasts that are really good. There's one that's called Something Was Wrong, and it deals with like mental health and people who are like murderers, people who are like living double lives. A lot of times it's told from the perspective of a lot of it's like female based. A lot of it's told from the perspective of a woman who started dating a guy who was just out of his mind. And it's like, it's crazy. There's one season that has 12 1-hour episodes about one guy over the span of 15 years by 30 different women. And in detail, all of their stories match exactly how he was. And it was this most wild thing. But yes, I feel like the storytelling format is really captivating for people, especially if it's on a topic that's like universal enough, like conspiracy theories. You know, everyone thinks about, you know, what are aliens, or what is this, or you know, the government's doing this to the water. So I mean, everybody likes to wig out and let their weird thoughts come to fruition.
Yeah, it's interesting how many theories you have heard and conspiracies and whatnot. I don't know, like I listen to some of Brandon's stuff, you know, for like his other one, and it's cool for the person to talk about what they need to, but then it's just like it just keeps going on, and you're like, was this guy over embellishing? I don't know. There's been a few honest people that it sounds like, but then there's others that kind of go a little too far stray off. Because like if I'm telling you a story about a certain thing, that's all I would say. I wouldn't like start to embellish and add random shit that doesn't belong there just to keep your attention.
I'm not here to tell someone they're full of shit. Now, I might think they're full of shit, but that's not what I'm out here saying.
Right.
Like sometimes they tell me stories and they got so vivid details about certain little things for like they saw something for a whole 5 seconds, but they know so many details about shit, and it's just like,
okay. I can't remember when I wiped my ass last, but this person knew like exact time and the noise and the like.
Well, I will say some of the shit, because of what I'd seen on my own experience, it does stick with you. Like,
right.
I can't tell you the exact day. I know the month, and I know what the moon looked like, and I know about the time frame when I seen my shit, because
right,
it just kind of like burnt into my brain.
Kind of like my storm. I could tell you exact details of what happened that night when the storm hit my house, and how good times. But
what do you think is the most realistic conspiracy theory that is out there right now? The one that's most likely to be true, I think.
Go ahead. I'll say something here in a second.
Sure.
I would say AI is very strange.
Oh yeah,
it's a very scary thing. AI music, I am afraid, unfortunately, might start replacing a lot of.
I haven't heard any of it. I kind of
don't want to. Wild.
Is it?
Oh, dude, it is. It is so spot on. Even
but
like,
how do you know it if it is like it's uploaded as AI, or I've not looked into this.
They make AI artists, or one thing they can do right now really well is they can take the voice profile of someone and make a song through AI.
Yeah, like any celebrity, like this is Keanu Reeves singing death metal, and it's Keanu Reeves.
But they can also entirely compose songs with like neutral voices as well. Also, there was an AI program that made its own language and started talking to other AI programs in an entirely foreign language that they made up.
So what is AI? I mean, I know what it is, but is it like one computer? Or is it just
no, artificial intelligence is a program. It's a program that can learn and teach itself, which is super weird.
So
it's an adaptive. So
it's Skynet. It's Skynet connected to all their internets. Basically, is what the concept is, right?
Yeah, it's machine learning it with like algorithms that it can find out and figure out anything anyway.
Yeah.
So it mimics a consciousness, which is creepy because computers will always be more smart than a human ever can be,
right?
In terms of the knowledge that it has and the influence that it has. So, but then you've got like the problem of then people stealing songs or making audio and video of things that never actually happened. That's where it gets a little sketchy. But yeah, it's a fun tidbit. Our album is all about that.
That's why I'm like, is an AI a master computer? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where is it? Where does it exist?
it's developed by people, but it's a software. It's a computer like, so yeah, you build it through a computer, but it's a program language, like a coding language that can teach itself. Which I generally don't understand the mechanics of how it works, but I kind of understand the loose, because I studied computer science and web design in college, so I understand how computers can perfect everything, and you can write code in a way that it has infinite checks for infinite possibilities, and basically they've made a program where the computer can mimic a person thinking for itself, which is scary.
Fucking Skynet, then. Skynet is here.
Or iRobot. It's that concept of if a computer has its own consciousness and can think for itself, then what's stopping it from, it knows that it can't die.
So that's why, like, when you see the pictures, like, I mean, obviously they have websites dedicated to AI art, but like, if you didn't know that, they look so convincing depending on the program.
Yeah,
like they could have made anything and you wouldn't even notice. Like his hands would have been all, his hands are just messed up because it's like out of focus or blurry. But like, it makes me wonder how many pictures that what we thought was reality was actually the AI thing. And
there's a lot of, if you see on Facebook, there's a lot of issues with it right now. There's a lot of people making up shit that isn't true. But yeah, with AI art, like those photos, you can always tell it's fake when, if you look at the hands of the people in the, they have like 9 fingers or 3, or they have like a club hand, and then the eyes are usually way too close, or like, just if you look at a picture and it's questionable, always look at the surrounding. Like if it's a big group of people, look at the people in like the 4th row and they have like no face, and you're like, okay, that's AI.
Like an ape face or something weird. It's like, it's kind of was like mushed looking.
The hilarious one was Trump getting detained by the FBI, and they had a picture of him with like 12 officers grabbing him. It was so funny.
Running away. Like, but like, let's say if you didn't know that AI existed, and those were it, people would be like
entirely convinced.
Oh my God, they got him, about time. No, not our savior.
Or it's like people are like Coachella in the 60s, and it's like, people with all these weird hippie clothing, but then they've got like, 4 thumbs.
So yeah, that's a good conspiracy, because that could go on for like so many ways.
But yeah, that's the one that sketches me out the most.
Mine is still the weather thing. I'm still trying to understand. Like, maybe I'm more attuned to it, or maybe I'm just overthinking about how the weather's behaving everywhere. Because like, I see videos all the time where like, landslides and like boulders and like earthquakes, and a few videos where like in the desert, water just starts showing up when water's never been there. So and some lakes are being drained, like where there's.
I think the weather thing is also an overpopulation thing too. I think we're producing so much and putting so many gases out there that I think the environment is getting influenced. Or we're just in a weird time of history where the earth is starting to deteriorate.
Maybe. I mean, like, I feel like if you watch old movies and all the cities, they've always been grungy and gross and overpopulated. And it's like, I feel like obviously we got more technology, and maybe we've had a lot of better chance when learning how to recycle and, trying to, because like, I feel like Chicago wasn't as smoggy as it was back in like when I was younger. It seemed like it cleared up. So maybe that kind of helped, but it's still smog, but not as, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're supposed to adapt better with our resources, that it should have got more cleaned up than we were, because we were so like wasteful. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good theory to think. I don't know, but I feel like I'm still holding on that the weather's all fucked up everywhere.
Seems to be pretty crazy. Well, I think we're getting close to our time. What do you guys think the future of live music is? Because with the rampant devices and internet, also now Apple has those spectacles that are creepy. Have you seen those?
They want like $4,000 for them, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know. I forgot what they're exactly called. I think they're called the Apple spectacles or something.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they're like $39.95 or some shit like that. Like $4,000 for basically just
Vision Pro.
Yeah, Vision
Yeah.
Pro.
You can
I've-
see your
I've
apps,
not
and you don't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I haven't seen this. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen this.
Dude, Vision Pro is weird. But I mean, it's one of those things that I'm sure they said same things about like iPhone and all that, but this is like a fully immersive VR experience with
Just a
these
$4,000
glasses.
VR.
Yeah, but it like puts it out in the real world too, and
Oh.
yeah, I think with it's technology is advancing us faster than people can adapt.
Mm.
So I think like with live shows, like if you can see a live show in your house with VR, why would you go see people in a place you have to pay money to?
I would actually interject and say it's not the same still. You can't capture that, like the loud, annoying PA and the echo of the room and the smelly
true.
people.
But you also got to
then
remember
it's almost like the PA makes a huge difference. It's that thud that you feel in your whole body, your chest. And like,
you got to remember the difference though is that the younger people that are learning the new stuff, all they've ever known is devices, and some of them are a little more introverted because they are so in tune with their computers. So to our generation of people that has seen it both with and without technology, I think now you've got a new group of people that are in their teens or middle school that if we went out to all age clubs and saw our friends play, because that's what you could do, and I had like a flip phone that I could text 3 words to, but now you've got a phone and a tablet and a computer, and even though the experience isn't the same, if you don't know any different, then why would you go out and try something that costs money or costs time, which you would think most people want to go out and hang out with people, but funny enough, it's kind of starting to revert to the people are a little bit more skittish and a little more introverted and not wanting to go out as much.
Do you think this, and this goes back to the conspiracy in my own brain, do you think the whole rise of technology is specifically for everyone to become so dependent upon the technology that when they take the technology away, we can't function as a society because we're not capable of doing things without something doing it for us? You know that mean? Like,
I think it was created with good intentions, but there was a known risk of how it could shape the world and change it in a negative and positive way. Like it's one of those things where if you give someone power, they might abuse it, which most people do. So, I mean, look at just grammar and math. There's a lot of people, maybe, if anybody's over the age of 40, then they probably still have their own wits to them. But people under the age of 40, most, 20 something year olds, even teenagers, don't really know grammar and math very well because their phones correct it. A lot of people I work with actually still don't know how to do math. It boggles my mind. But proper grammar is also something too. Like, they took away cursive handwriting overall is not really as important. Children have to take computer tests on tablets, and if they don't know how to use a tablet, they'll fail their test, which is insane. But that's just what it is going to now. And yeah, it's crazy because I think it's like it's like sitting in front of a buffet. You could just eat a sandwich, or you could have 10. So I think if there's always going to be the next best thing and it's readily available right now, people are going to get dependent on it. But those companies know that people get dependent on it, so they just take the data and they just advertise the shit out of it onto them.
Yeah. And on that note, we're going to try to wrap this one up here tonight on a bleak message.
And that's going to do it, everyone. Again, I hope you enjoyed that little snippet from Dark Side of the Scene. I do plan to have new episodes coming out here very soon for Tinfoil Tales, so everyone that's been checking it out and steadily growing as the podcast has been going on, and even though we've been on a short break for the last couple of months, I do appreciate it. It has grown quite a bit since I've taken a little bit of time off, but promise to be back here very soon. We've already got some people lined up. It's just a matter of getting them scheduled and getting them recorded, and then we will be getting those episodes out to you soon. And if you'd like to be on Tinfoil Tales, you can send me an email at tinfoiltalespodcast@gmail.com. and I will get you scheduled for a future episode. But on that note, we're going to take off. So good night, everyone. Thanks for checking it out, and hope you enjoyed it.